Welcome back. I am doing this live. Jubilee. This should be interesting. I've come a long way. So we'll see what my thoughts are as I react to this. Let's dive into it.
Commercial you didn't like? That sounds like being.
I don't know much about Isaiah Martin, but this should be interesting.
My first surrounding claim is that Trump's mass deportation plan is making us less safe.
I think he ran for a political office.
Hey, how's it going, brother?
Good
Good to see you.
to meet you.
Let me verify that. Isaiah Martin. He's a politician. And he's a candidate for Congress. Okay.
It's interesting that you claim that because according to the DHS, 70% of the people who have been deported so far have been criminals, either caught in the act. Yes.
Okay, so he just lied. Donald Trump immigration, how many are criminals? This is just not true. I'm trying to see. So immigrants with no criminal record, and this is before it got really crazy, in September 2025, are now the largest group in U.S. immigration detention, according to data released by the government. The number of people with no criminal history arrested by immigration and customs for blah, blah, blah has now surpassed those charged with crime. Police in ICE detention by criminal history. Released. So this one, pending charges, no criminal record, is the one leading right now. He said 70%. Guess I'm not going to get a percentage. But that's just not true. Let's see how Isaiah Martin responds. It's clearly not true.
I'm surprised you're surprised. You ran for Congress and you don't know this?
This claim fails to distinguish between convicted criminals and those accused of breaking the law using U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement data. The Cato Institute found in December 2025 that 47% of ICE bookings had not been charged with a crime. Just made up a data point. I wonder why and how MAGA is so consistently incorrect with the information that they give out. I just don't understand. At some point, we really got to question how information dissemination has been completely broken because of the MAGA administration. No, because of the MAGA movement.
That's what those numbers said?
That is 70%. The other 30% are people who went through the entire immigration process and had some sort of deportation detainer. So that is 700,000 people were deported like that. 1.9 million people self-deported so far. That's all DHS data. It's publicly available. You can look it up. So how are you standing for criminals? Is that what you're doing right now?
Of interior removals, 70% of the people deported literally have not been convicted criminals. What are you talking about? That's according to DHS.
That's according to DHS? Where are you getting your data from?
DHS.
What day? This is like just recently.
From up to October or mid-October of this year.
So we're going to need a fact check on this because I literally checked yesterday.
They're not 70%. Convicted criminals. 70% of the people deported are not convicted criminals under interior
They
removals.
were people. So there were people that had either been convicted criminals.
No.
Or they had. We're like at a stalemate because now you're claiming something. I'm claiming something from the.
All right. Let's look up the DHS. DHS, how many immigrants are criminals? Let's look at this same database that both of them looked at. This is from the Cato Institute. Or some. I don't trust some of the data that Okay, this is not. So this data point right here, the ICE data showed that the share of immigrants detained after an ICE arrest who had criminal conviction had fallen in half since January, from 62% of detainees to 31% in November. So same ICE data in November, 70% of those who ICE deported had no criminal conviction. So I don't know where he's getting his data at all, to be honest. I think he probably saw this on social media. He's saying they got this from the DHS. This is from the Cato Institute. Can I get more? All right, here we go. I pulled up in Excel to hopefully understand this. Detainees. I'm not gonna do all that right now. But the guy was clearly lying. He was very clearly incorrect about what he said.
70% of the people that have been deported under interior removals are not convicted criminals. And that is a fact.
That's not a fact.
It literally is.
It's 70%. I'm telling you, I looked it up.
I think you got it upside down.
At the end of the day, it is what's happening. They literally publish the photos of everybody who is being deported.
So I didn't realize that they posted every single photo on Twitter.
No, they published the majority of them, yeah. But there's data.
Really?
This is, yeah. I mean, you're hitting back.
You're saying they deported hundreds of thousands of people and they post pictures of every single.
They're not posting. See, this is what you're doing here is you're building like this false deflection around it. I didn't say everybody. I said they're posting photos of people who are being deported. Yes.
So that means that they're deporting.
They're posting, bro. I don't know if you're acting stupid or you're purposely just like misconstruing what I'm saying. Yeah.
But here's my argument. Under Barack Obama, of those that were deported under interior removals, 92% of them were convicted criminals. Of that 92%, 81% of them were considered tier 1, worst of the worst per se. I think that is something that makes us a lot more safe than literally roaming around to go get grandmas in CVS that speak Spanish or going to that construction
that's an absolute
on a job site.
That's an absolutely false narrative because that's actually
Serious crimes.
That's just what the facts say. I mean,
that's not what's happening.
Really that's
you just
reality.
See. This is common with what the left does. You guys just
the left loves facts.
No,
that's kind of how that goes.
Again. That's not what you guys do at all. What for anybody watching at home? This is what they do. They get a piece of data, they fabricate a narrative around it, and then they try to sell it to you as the truth when in fact it's not.
Your data.
So
your data.
I mean,
I'm just so disappointed in how brain dead these people are. They're clapping at this because he attacked the left, I guess. I don't know how he reads a study that so clearly says 70% of those had no criminal. He probably just, this word right here, no, probably completely left his brain. His brain couldn't compute no, so he just made it up and rewrote history, rewrote reality. These people's brains are completely broken.
I came here. This is Trump's own website.
I came here with a piece of data. You completely rewrote it in real time.
No, I gave you the facts.
You completely rewrote it. I mean, I'm surprised you ran for Congress. You're one of the most disingenuous, dishonest people that I've ever met in my entire life. I was literally taken aback.
You know what Jubilee should start doing? Screw all this live fact checking because these pieces of garbage don't care about live fact checking. They need to be fact checked in real time. Moving forward, I want people to get fact checked in real time. I want them to be and look as stupid as they sound in real time. That is something I'm preaching. Jubilee, you got the facts. Like, oh, we fact check it. Hey, you who keeps on spouting nonsense. You're wrong. 70% don't have a criminal conviction. Stop fucking lying. Continue. And then move on. And then his bitch ass will shut up. And then we'll move on. because this is so pathetic.
Back for a second. I was like, how? Like, I looked this up yesterday. How is this guy sitting here lying so blatantly? You should be ashamed. No, seriously, dude. And I can see it in your face. No, you literally just sat here and lied. And you're like breaking down in real time.
I think I'm doing pretty good.
It's so incredibly so tell me, why are you so in favor of criminals being in this country?
I just told you that 70% of the people that Trump is supporting literally are not convicted criminals for interior removals. I mean, I don't understand what about this.
You really buy into that narrative that little grandmas are walking around. Oh my God. Oh, let's get grandma. Let's kick her out of the country.
That's literally what they're doing.
That's not what they're doing. Cite one case like that.
Of what? Of
one case of the little grandma standing at the taco stand getting deported. You can't cite it. There we go. There we go. You can't cite.
Are you denying the fact that?
No. I'm holding you to account because that's the narrative you're just running with, and then you can't cite a specific example.
What I'm telling you
again, this man is deeply.
One example of a grandma. I know we're getting into semantics, even though a child got taken into ICE custody. A old man got taken out of his home in the freezing cold into ICE custody. We got teenagers and young kids getting taken out of their workplace from like Walmart or Home Depot into ICE custody. We got this one woman who voted for Trump who was taken from ICE custody and then for no reason. So like we know all the examples. I think in this case, Isaiah, I don't think he's familiar with this world of MAGA lunatics. You just got to make them look stupid. Reasonable conversation with these people will not work. The only thing that they recognize is memes, and I don't even know what else they recognize. Their brains are broken. So yeah, Isaiah Martin, you're not going to be able to rationality. I don't know if he's ready for this because he's normal. He's used to the normal political world.
Disingenuous. Thank God you're out of politics. We don't need more lying politicians like you.
Well, we don't need
more lying politicians like you. I'm running for Congress too. I'm actually still in the race. Yes. Okay. In Hollywood, Glendale, Burbank, and Pasadena. We need people who tell the truth. We don't need liars like you.
When this episode comes out and they show the fact check and you are miserably wrong, as you clearly
I'm not going to be wrong.
And they show this is going to be really beautiful when America gets to watch the fact that the person running to be your next congressman literally cannot read data.
This guy's breaking down in real time. He's like looking at the clock. He's like, please get me out of here.
I think I'm doing pretty good.
You looked at the clock, dude. You're breaking down in real time. I can see your face is like twitching.
I think I'm just
this
showing.
guy said real-time fact checks, please. Like if you agree,
get
them to do it.
Is that under
this
Barack
first
Obama,
guy should never do a debate.
That we focus more on the convicted.
I think we all came to the same conclusion. When you see the comments, okay, Jubilee, I feel like it's time we start doing live fact checks with the media to verify all claims in real time for both parties, because that was disgusting. That was disgusting. This guy is so blatantly wrong, and he just saying it with full chest. This is ridiculous. Let's move on. That was embarrassing.
Hey, it's great to meet you.
Good to see you, brother.
And he's gonna watch this video, see the comments, see the fact check, and ignore it, and then move on with his life because he's a piece of shit. That's exactly what happens when you're dealing with MAGA. They don't reflect, they don't learn, they just keep on doing what they're doing and keep on pushing the same tired narratives.
I'm going to start saying something that might not make everyone else like me, but I actually think you've been real honest during this conversation. But I want to start with, I don't know if it's 30 or if it's 70% as y'all were debating, but even if it's 30%, shouldn't all of those 30% be deported?
Here's the problem, is that ICE has a certain amount of resources. Mm-hmm. Just like, for example, police officers. We have a lot of our officers focusing on violent crime. So when it comes to the limited resources that ICE has, I would say that it would make more sense to go after the worst of the worst, violent terrorists that are in this country. Mm-hmm. We focus more on those folks under Barack Obama's administration. And I think that it makes more sense to go after those folks now, because currently what we're seeing is an ICE that's literally going to go get folks blanket across the country. It's leading to so many mistakes. Like, for example, the the student that was a college student in Georgia that was literally detained in an ICE detention facility for 2 weeks. Literally as a result of a mistaken identity. I don't think that that's something that keeps us more safe in this country.
So can we start with points of agreement? I think that might be useful. Can we, regardless of how we get there, can we agree that those 30% who got deported should have been deported?
The what? The convicted criminals?
The convicted criminals.
Yes.
Which you said is 30.
Yes.
Someone's
Hey, man, this guy's good at being good faith. You don't see it often when it comes to MAGA, but okay, we can have a real conversation. Shut up.
and it was 70, whatever.
Yes.
So we start there. Okay.
Yes.
So now we have to talk about the remaining, I'm going to say 70%.
Yes.
Because I believe you're sad. To me, it seems that those people are also making our civilization unsafe because they promote a culture of lawlessness. When you have a set of person, a category of person who is by definition an outlaw, they themselves have to be afraid of the police for normal things. And they encourage their friends then to be afraid of the police.
Okay, this is a incorrect perception on what those 70% are, but this is a perfect opportunity for Isaiah Martin to reach a level of understanding for this guy who seems like he's not insane. Isaiah, this is important. Come on.
Normal things. And so you create a culture where people are afraid of the police because of things that have nothing to do with them. And so when these people are around, they actually make it such that the people near them can't be pro-police. And so if you deport the people who aren't criminals themselves, but who exist as a category of outlaw, and you remove this outlaw category, you know.
There's a couple things I would have asked. I'm just gonna let it play. Someone told me I pause too much. I do pause a lot.
No longer have this semi-enforced law situation, and then we can move to a place where we have fully enforced law. And so I think that we both agree that less crime is good, like obviously. And I think that when the best way to get rid of crime is to police crime. When you punish criminals, they stop doing crime. But you need people to believe in the police. You need people to love the police. You need people to want to be safe.
Do undocumented immigrants commit less crime than American citizens?
I think it's probably true. But the problem is that if they get caught up in...
So if they commit less crime, then how does that fill the narrative that you're referring to?
For example, imagine I'm an illegal immigrant. I'm not. But imagine that I was. And some crime happened to me. I am less likely to call the police because I'm afraid that I could get deported. And same thing if I'm in a group of people and one of us is an illegal immigrant and a crime happens, we are now afraid to call the police because of what might happen to our friend. And so this category of outlaw creates a culture of not believing in police.
Let's see if we can agree on this. Okay. I support making sure that we can have a strong border in our country.
Yes,
I think that that's fair.
Thank you.
Okay. I do not support violent criminals in our country.
Yes, sir.
I don't think the vast majority of Americans do. I also support making sure that there's a pathway to citizenship for those that are here that are undocumented. So the question then comes, what do we do with the limited resources that ICE has in front of us? I personally believe that we should be more focused on convicted criminals.
Yes.
Violent people that are in our...
I just don't think his answers are that good, personally. I'm surprised for someone who's not familiar with this space to go into the lines den. You really, for situations like this, first you got to understand what he means by outlaw and what he means by lawlessness. Now, he said something that may have shed light on what he's referring to in terms of the amount of illegal immigrants that are, let's be very clear, the 70%. Some of them may have crossed with no level of, what do I call it, checks. So they're completely out of the system. That's not the majority, but that is a percentage. Most of them are more than likely here from some type of process. That could be something like waiting for their asylum process because it's so backed up. That could be on some type of visa situation. That could be on some type of temp status. The only thing we know for certain is that the same category of illegal immigrants that are deemed criminals who cross the border without any permission are under the same category of people who are just not in the system, are just waiting for a trial. And there's a lot of those people waiting for their process to be confirmed. Maybe there's some with the expired visa. These individuals are not criminals. They're not anything. They're just waiting for a very backloaded program. And I repeated myself. I do apologize. Now, the question is their fear of being deported. Considering most of them are more than willing to go to their checkup and just really wants to determine whether or not the judge will say, hey, you're finally good. Most of them will be more than willing to comply with the cops, which is why when you compare these type of individuals to the average American citizen, They do less crime. There's less issues with these people. They're more than willing to work in the system, which is why they do put taxes into the American system as well. Our current system is that those who are not criminals are being treated like criminals. So of course there's more fear. I did everything I'm supposed to. I'm just waiting. But now I'm getting treated like a piece of shit like everybody else. So that's not a situation of the system versus a situation of propaganda and fear mongering by the MAGA administration. Something like that. I was just kind of rambling. I don't think that was the most fluid way to say what I just said, but Isaiah's response doesn't really get to the core of the issue.
Our country. But when we have a system in which 70% of the people that are literally detained by ICE itself are those that have not been convicted of a crime. 47% of those people have not even been charged with a crime. They're just people.
53% have been charged with a crime then?
What?
So 53% have been charged with a crime then?
No, that's not what
You
I
just said 47% haven't been charged.
47%. Oh,
So
I'm
what
sorry,
percent
sorry.
have been?
Yeah, 53%
So
have been
over
charged.
half are charged with a crime.
Yeah, if you look at what the 47% number before Trump got in office, it was around 10%-ish.
Okay.
Right? So what I'm saying is that we should be more focused on rounding up convicted criminals in this country, people that are going to be doing things as it is.
So would you agree on giving more money to ICE to go get all the convicted criminals?
But that's not really what's happening, right? We're already paying we're literally spending more money on ICE this year than the Spanish military is on their entire thing. And we're seeing the results.
Well, 'cause that's Spain.
Well, but I'm just saying. Well,
Like, I don't want to talk about the Spanish
but come on. I mean, that's an entire military.
It's not 1453.
I mean, but that's an
Like,
entire military, right? What I'm saying is,
sure, it's more than
what I'm saying is that it doesn't make sense to me that we're spending all this money and 70% of the people that we're deporting, right? So at the end result, right? Not just the folks that are detained. The end
Just don't really like his response. His analysis would have been better in outlining the comparative model that he was doing initially, that Obama was doing this very effectively and getting rid of illegal immigrants. Joe Biden was deporting a lot of people as well. They didn't have as much resources that we're now paying for ICE. And if most of the resources that we're now paying extra for ICE, and they're not even getting criminal convictions, they're going over everybody else, then at this point, it's not a problem of the amount of funding, it's the target. It is the mission itself that's the problem. And it's not doing what they're supposed to be doing. So we're getting the criminals, but now we're getting everybody. And so it stopped becoming about criminals altogether.
result of the folks that we're saying, okay, we're going to get you out of here.
Yeah.
70% of them have not been convicted.
So can we
of crime.
address
And
the
I think
fact
that's an
that
issue.
having a category of person who is an outlaw, who cannot rely on the police, makes the entire neighborhood unsafe?
Because what's happening in this country is that those people that are undocumented are those that commit crimes at a low rate. Here's the real thing.
Yeah, but you're not listening to what I'm saying.
Because here's what
You've
really
missed what I'm
because
talking about.
because here's what makes us less safe. What makes us less safe in this country is going and having someone to do these complete raids, and you go find these mistaken cases of identity in which American citizens have been detained.
Tragedies, everyone.
Every single one of them.
Every single
and those are at an increase.
All 10 of them.
That makes us far more unsafe than what the thing that you're talking about
All
in these
policing
policies
is always going to have mistakes, but if you want to claim that just
those
because
situations
there are
have
some-
increased.
Well, because policing has increased.
So what's happening in this country is that what you're focusing on rounding up people that have not been convicted of a crime.
Who are a
and as a result,
category of
and as a
outlaw.
result
Can you
of that,
address the
you
fact
need
that
to
those
Yeah, he's not really addressing it. And it's I don't know if I'm watching this full thing. Isaiah Martin's performance is not that good. Let's skip ahead. Those first two was not good.
Now, let's get into it.
My next surrounding claim is that Trump prioritizes the wealthy while he leaves you behind.
Maybe immigration is just not his
Wow.
strong point.
Nice to meet you. I'm JP.
Good to see you, JP.
Let's get right into it.
Let's go.
Yeah. So I think that I can see your claim. I want to hear you argue it a little more if you want.
I mean, the main argument is that look at all the things that Trump promised. He promised that he would make us not pay taxes. He promised us that we would have gas prices, national average, less than $2 a gallon. And he promised that he would cut our energy bills in half within a year. It's a year. We don't have any of that. Our energy bills are up 11%. Meanwhile, we see the wealthiest 1% of Americans getting about $1 trillion worth of tax cuts with a big ripoff bill. I would say that's very clear that he's more focused on the wealthiest people in our country.
I think that the argument that I would make, and I think it's a structural one, is that we've got, for the last 30 years, globalism has dulled our strategic thinking. And if we want real change, it's not going to happen, not in a year.
But he
It's
said
going
it
to be,
would.
it's going to be a strong break, and that's just beginning.
But he said it
What
would.
we've seen, and I think that's just part of the issue with a lot of Democrats, is a hyperfixation on consumers, on the products. But what we've lost
Well,
is
I'm-
labor, and
I'm-
I think you,
I'm
as a
sorry.
Democrat,
I'm
should
sorry,
understand
though.
this.
I didn't know
Under
that.
Joe
I didn't know that it was a
Biden-
bad
under Joe
thing to be concerned about
Under
prices.
Joe Biden,
I didn't know
we
that was
had
a
a
bad thing.
50 to 60% increase of border crossings. The illegal immigrant population, you can fact check me on this, Jubilee, but I think it almost doubled. It's like 10 million people came into this country. That affects working class.
It doesn't. The amount of immigrants that have come in do not affect working class citizens. There's actually no evidence of that. It's just a blind narrative that people throw out there and then they agree upon it without actually fact checking how it does what it does. When you look into it, the immigration has only benefited workers, has only benefited people. The only person that's not benefiting you is the rich that are constantly getting tax cuts and then cutting your paycheck.
Americans, Democrats don't care about this policy. The reality is that Democrats will be, oh, tariffs are a tax on consumers. But what do you say about the workers in America that have lost their jobs? Millions and millions of jobs that have left this country. If you think this is going to change in a year, then you're wrong. We need policy that's brave and courageous.
Joe, and let's be very clear, Joe Biden had a historically low unemployment. So, yeah, people were getting jobs. Jobs are not the issue. Matter of fact, we have a lot of jobs that people don't want to do. You know who was doing that? Immigrants. And then they were feeding back into the economy so everybody else can make more money. Such a ridiculous claim. That's clear. It's very objectively wrong. Isaiah, I need a good response from this.
And that's what we're seeing with Trump.
First off, the unemployment rate is higher since Trump has taken office. So
The unemployment rate has not
I don't
changed
really know what you're talking
This
about.
last quarter, we had a 4% increase.
I think that we should stay
Inflation
focused on the
inflation
fact
increased
that
much more
I
than
did
the
not
last year's
know
Biden
that
administration.
it was controversial.
When Trump got elected, the first time the economy went up, you guys said, oh, it's because he's benefiting from the Obama economy. But now that it's the first year and the economy is starting to lift up, you guys
Starting to lift up?
It's lifting. The economy was lifting up under Joe Biden, and then it dipped because of Donald Trump's terrible tariffs. Come on, Isaiah. These are easy responses. Come on.
You guys don't say the same
Isn't
thing.
inflation going up? What are you talking about?
Do you remember Joe Biden's presidency? What do you think happens
Wait, no, let's
when the
take a step
government
back.
COVID happened.
expands and continues to spend? So let's.
Yeah, this guy's not able to. This is the internet world. You're just going to be dealing with obnoxious idiots. You have to control the conversation. You can't just let them yap and just say random shit that has no merit into what is actually going on. Isaiah, come on, do better.
Millions of illegal immigrants
This isn't going to go anywhere. You're just going to give a monologue.
If you want to lower inflation and at the same time bring back.
I'm gonna reach out to Isaiah Martin. I want to see if he can come on the podcast, and if he does come on the podcast, I'm going to tell him, bro, your Jubilee performance is not good. It wasn't a good performance.
Jobs. You need to do two things.
I don't think your friends think you're doing
domestic deregulation. Well,
do not look at cultists for validation. Don't, please.
the same time fighting the externalization of labor. We've let our country kill itself, and we don't want to do that no longer. If it's going to take some discomfort, I welcome it, and I think many Americans welcome it. What we're not going to do, and what the Trump administration is not going to do, that.
Okay, I'm done, bro. You're just letting him yell. He was just fucking. Okay,
she's quick.
Hello. I just kind of want to piggyback off some of the things I feel like my last friend was trying to get to. So, and you said Trump set the expectation for himself, and so. What I feel like a lot of people do on the left is they hear Trump and they hear it through the lens of I already hate him, I already want him to fail. So already you're coming at it from a very counterproductive perspective. The way, because I watched every Trump rally because I had to.
Really?
Yeah, I know. These cultists, man. Oh, you're just hating on him, even though I'm watching it to love him and agree with him and warp all of my reality and how he's so amazing. But yeah, sure, gotcha. They probably said the same thing about Nazis. You're only watching him to hate on Hitler. They said the same thing.
Absolutely, because I used to hate him. But what I found out was the reasons why I hated him was because of how things were cut up and presented to me for so many years. So I had to take it upon myself to go back. I had a lot of time in COVID to go back, watch every rally. A lot of it was hilarious, but it really gave me a full, better understanding of, oh, he was really saying this, right? So because I used to be on the left, absolutely. How I see we're going to do it within a year is the policies are going to activate. We're going to have clear policies and we're going to make moves within the first year. Now, if you're...
What policies? What is she yapping about? It just seems like a person who knew nothing about politics, was super emotional, and then saw some clips and then changed her mind because some narratives were not in favor or antagonistic to Trump. I mean, that happens. It's like, oh, finally my brain wakes up, and then you go completely brainwashed to the other side. When brainwashed people on the left get brainwashed on the right, I think it's some of the funniest things I've ever seen. Have you not learned your lesson? How about just don't be brainwashed, period?
Being honest with yourself and you're being genuine. Good things take time. Change takes time. We're not going to
The
fix
fuck is she
everything
talking about?
apart in 1 year. We're not going to see the results.
Isaiah, fucking respond. She's yapping. God damn, this listening shit means nothing to me. Respond. This is worse than Dr. Mike.
by December. To me,
She's not saying jack shit. She has no idea what the fuck she's
it was
talking
him saying,
about.
hey, we're going to do these things, policy. We're going to have the strategy.
She's just do these things. She has no idea what the fuck she's talking about. That's why she's using vague terms. She doesn't know what she's talking about.
The things set in place within the first year. Hence all the manufacturing deals. We have absolutely NVIDIA. We have so much money coming into this country to build plants. All that's going to take time. And all of that's going to help the working class. Because let me tell you something. I'm also still the working class. I'm college educated. I know they said MAGA wasn't college educated or black, but I am. And
So you're the exception. You're the helpful idiot that MAGA is going to be using. Perfect response in terms of the manufacturing deals, even though a good percentage of them are due to Joe Biden, and a lot of them are not actually deals. They're just concepts or concepts at the very least. We don't know how they're going to manifest, but I don't know about all these manufacturing deals. There are some people investing into the country, especially for AI, so they could put data centers here and there. But a lot of that is not creating more jobs. I don't know what she's getting her information that there's all these manufacturing deals that are about to create a bunch of jobs. I don't get that part, especially when a lot of these manufacturing companies have been struggling because of Donald Trump's bullshit tariffs, and they constantly have to tell him, hey, chill the fuck out. And then he takes back his tariffs that are ruining a lot of these companies in the first place. I think the only thing that I could say is some companies that have been able to move manufacturing a little bit are some auto companies. But I don't know if that's proven to help us overall. And if we're talking about creating manufacturing jobs, I mean, Joe Biden created a lot. Does he get credit?
let me tell you, but I'm also still working class. I also still drive Uber, drive Lyft, fence, but
Don't give a fuck.
a lot of
That is a lot of work,
Isaiah,
and
respond.
I want to salute you for that.
Mhm.
So first off, is that a lot of people in this country listen to Trump rallies and they heard him say specific things, and that's what informed him that's what informed them to go and make the decision to vote for him. The reality is that when you make promises, you're going to be graded on whether or not you keep them. And the reality is that he promised that he would cut our energy bills in half. That has not happened. It hasn't even remotely.
Have you seen on Twitter all the people
but wait a
thanking
second,
Trump about the gas prices? They're low. They're not low here.
Hold up.
Yeah.
Hold up.
Yeah.
The energy bills are up 11%. That is a fact.
But
The
where?
national average for gasoline in this country
Uh-huh.
is literally almost the exact same as what it was a year ago.
I know, but
it's about 5 cents less.
But even if you compare it by state, I feel like a lot of Democratic ran states are
it's
suffering.
an average.
Okay, but that
How is an
includes all
average
the
calculated?
Democratic areas, when it comes down to it, are more expensive. So gas is more. Eventually one of these days I do plan to look into how gas prices are determined, because that is the only talking point that MAGA uses consistently, because they have nothing of substance to say. So they just talk about gas prices. And I'm under the business of debunking all your bullshit. So eventually I'll debunk that too. I've debunked the whole Florida tax system bullshit about how it's so good because there's no income tax. I went through all of that. That actually only benefits the wealthy. The people who are poor gets fucking screwed over. I've already fact checked all of that. We'll go through gas eventually as well, but she's not addressing the fact that energy bills means the light. Is it the light? This stuff?
States
How's an average
with
calculated?
huge populations.
How's an average calculated?
You calculate everybody together and then you divide it.
So were Democratic states included in the average last year?
Absolutely.
So they are included this year.
Okay.
So why are you mentioning
She's an
this as if
idiot.
this is some new phenomenon?
Okay, what I'm
Blue
saying
states
is,
were in there last year as they are this year.
So you're
and this year, gas prices are, if you compare it between this week and
They're
this
lower.
week last year,
No, but
it's
they're
only
lower than
5
last
cents
year.
lower.
But they're
And it
lower
was
than
Trump
last
that
year.
promised that he would have
they
these
were
gas
lower,
prices.
but the
less
prices
than
are lower
$2
than
ago.
last year, dude. There's
He just said the average from last year to this year is a 5-cent difference, and you want to glaze Trump. Let's be very clear. Presidents don't affect gas prices. But Donald Trump told you that, and your dumb, your ignorant mind believed it.
So many people thanking Trump
Just give
right
him
now
5
on
cents.
TikTok. Just look for it. I know you don't want to look for it and you don't want to see the
5
truth,
Oh,
but
yeah,
just look for it.
TikTok
So
and
many
Twitter.
people
That's
taking
how she
pictures of
gets
the
all
gas
her
prices
information.
in
5
Texas and
cents.
Louisiana going, dang, I ain't seen gas. It's $1.19.
Yo, these people are so oh my God, bro. I'm college educated. Okay, sure.
I done
That's
seen
not
that so many
happening.
times on
That
TikTok,
doesn't
bro.
happen.
I promise to goodness, all you got to do is go look for it, baby.
You
Because
can
it's
look
out
at the
there.
average.
That's what I'm trying to tell you.
You can look at
trying
the
to do
average.
numbers, but I'm telling you, real people.
Because
I'm a real
facts,
person sitting
because
in front of
facts
you.
are over feelings. That's how
This
things
isn't
work.
feelings, it's reality.
Facts don't care about
It's
feelings.
reality.
That's
This
how
is
it
not a
goes.
feeling. It's
And
reality.
the reality is that the national average for gas is literally only 5 cents lower than what it was a year ago. And Trump
Oh,
said,
so it's lower. So we got it lower.
Trump said that he
And
was
it's
going to have
keep-
it less than $2 a
and it's
gallon.
going to keep dropping.
Is that lower than
but
$2
it's
a gallon?
lower. There's progress.
So you're going to celebrate?
5 cents. Nah, dead ass, go back to college. Dead ass, go back to college. You obviously didn't learn anything. You clearly didn't learn anything. I don't know how she's operating in the world.
At 5 cents?
Yeah, I'm going to celebrate anything that's lower. Yes, but and it's going to keep going. I'm not in my ego, bro.
Says who?
You're coming at this in your ego.
In my
Even though he said the energy prices for our electricity bill is 11% higher, but you're going to praise a 5-cent dip, even though the president does not determine gas prices. Yeah. You know what is determining some electricity bills? Donald Trump's bullshit tariffs he has to constantly do and then take back that have affected actual people. But okay. All right, bro. All right, bro. Let's move on from that bullshit. Okay.
My next surrounding claim is that Doge was a complete and total failure. You're pretty quick, Philip.
Thank you, sir. It's an honor and pleasure.
Good to see you,
Thank you
brother.
so much for having me. Yes, so the claim being that Doge was a complete and total failure, I have difficulty imagining that that's true because, and I am coming at this as an anti-statist. I'm a very strong proprietarian, believe in private property rights. But I will say I read all these stories and I
Of
expect
course
they're at
you
least
do,
somewhat
buddy.
accurate, that the U.S. State Department was running global programs all over the world for, all kinds of absurdities, like they were promoting transgenderism in places like Nigeria where the people
Please debunk this, Isaiah. Please debunk this. Okay, let's see.
clearly don't want it. The people of Nigeria are often very conservative. They don't agree with this stuff. They're promoting
that.
Well, they were doing it through like education programs, primarily targeted at younger university students because they're trying to
The
take hold
United
of
States
youth.
government was funding
The State Department, yes.
transgender
Yeah, like
programs.
gender ideology education programs. They were
Gender
trying to
ideology.
teach. Yeah, they're trying to teach people in the third world stuff that came out of the Princeton faculty lounges, like there's 74 genders and things
So
of that
there's,
nature.
so there's a class that's funded by the United States State Department.
Oh, in Pakistan,
teaches
in
that there's
Afghanistan,
74
in Nigeria. Yeah, these deeply conservative cultures that the Ivy League educated people that
I think Isaiah's learning in real time how insane these people are. They make up the craziest stuff.
run the U.S. State Department, they want to convert it into an Ivy League faculty lounge. That's what they want to do. So, they spread all this cultural Marxist, propaganda all over the world. And they try to, the core goal of it, the end goal is to undermine the family, is to undermine traditional family and traditional faith. That's their goal. So they want to do that in places that are very conservative and family oriented, like Nigeria. And Pakistan might be family oriented in the wrong way.
Why do you think that if this is true, why do you think that they would want to do that?
Well, because the end goal is to undermine the family and to undermine traditional faith. Because if they make it so that the younger
the United States government was trying to undermine.
Absolutely. Oh, the United States government historically, like I would say for at
He's
least
doing what I did
since at
when
least
I
the beginning of the
questioned
Cold
that
War, if
MAGA
not
guy.
even before that, they've been some of the chief promoters of cultural Marxism and policies and ideologies and philosophies that are designed to undermine traditional faith and traditional family throughout the world. Oh yeah, absolutely.
So they
the
want to
U.S. government
destroy the traditional
overwhelmingly, especially for the
family
past probably 3 generations of Americans, it's overwhelmingly been a force for global evil. Really, it's an evil empire.
It's really interesting to me because the last time I checked, I think the Doge was created to cut spending in the United States.
Yes.
And what has happened, depending on who you ask, $7 billion, $2 billion, somewhere between there is that number.
It's a drop in the bucket.
Do you know what that total percentage of that is the United States budget?
Oh, it wouldn't surprise me if it's below 2%.
Like 0.1%.
Yeah, no. From a fiscal standpoint, it was certainly a failure. But what I'm saying is, from a culture war standpoint, I think there were some
when it comes
successes.
to cutting spending for Americans in our country,
Right.
It was a complete and total failure.
Close to a total failure. Yeah, when it comes to actually cutting spending,
I guess then we would agree.
On the fiscal level, yes, not necessarily on the culture war.
I'm glad we could agree.
Or not necessarily.
I don't think he didn't really have a response to his bull. Maybe that's actually a good strategy. I don't know. You kind of capitulate a little bit to his nonsense. You can dismiss it. For me, if you were going to do the strategy of dismissal and acceptance, then I would have been like, yeah, I think that's pretty crazy. I don't agree to it. But let's say if that's true, I think separating yourself from the crazy is probably a good strategy.
Really on the broader
because what also happened as a result of this was spending. The Trump administration went and pushed even further wasteful spending. Like, for example, the $1 billion that they're about to spend or currently spending to rename the Department of War. I would say that's a pretty wasteful group of spending.
Yeah, I would say it probably is.
$1 billion to retrofit a plane from Qatar.
Yeah, you know, I mean,
That's pretty wasteful, if you ask me.
Republicans are very wasteful spenders too. You know, they certainly are. There's no question.
I think we agree.
We effectively, and you might even agree with this too, to a great extent, we have a uniparty in this country. The only real separation, I would say, between Republicans and Democrats is really on the culture war issues. And this is where Noam Chomsky was correct. He said that, you know, we've reached a situation in America where the major parties have no choice but to run on culture war issues because economically, you know, to a great degree, they're indistinguishable. Well,
what is true is that we see
the only party running on culture war issues is the Republicans. Let's be clear about that.
These mass increases to the deficit, and then, for example, the national debt when Republicans take office, largely because they blow a donut hole in the deficit by giving tax cuts to the richest people in America. I think that that's something that just needs to stop.
Well, I mean, I'm anti-tax and anti-statist, so I don't think that anybody should pay taxes because I don't think that there should be taxes, and I don't think there should be a state that has to be funded by taxes.
So you don't think there should be any taxes?
No, I think that society should be governed by voluntary private associations designed to protect private property rights.
Did you fly here to Los Angeles?
No, I'm from around here, if you can believe it. So yeah, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Did you drive here?
I got driven here.
You got driven here on what?
Yes,
on roads, right?
Oh yeah, no, I've only recognized that you know, there's public amenities all around us, and that in some way
in
or
order
other.
for you to drive here, it takes what? It takes funding to keep the roads.
Well, yes, but I've been forced to pay taxes to fund the construction and maintenance of those roads.
The money has to come from somewhere.
Yes, it'll come from. Yeah. Okay, thank you, sir. Yes, it's an honor and pleasure. Thank you.
That guy's just insane. Get off the internet and go touch grass, bro. Jesus Christ.
Hi.
Good to see you.
So I know Gavin Newsom is the leader for the Democrats.
All these MAGA women look the same. All the MAGA white women look the same, bro. Chill on the plastic surgery.
Democratic Party right now. That's who's going to be the nominee most likely, and everyone's super excited about him. But guess what? I live in California, where spending is out of control, and the fact that nobody wants to even look into fraud and everyone is burning down Teslas when Elon Musk was trying to help and he came in with good intentions is shocking to me. Gavin.
Nobody wants to defend Doge. I don't give a fuck about what she got to say about California. I'm not gonna lie. Let's skip ahead again.
My final surrounding claim is that Trump is terrible for the economy. What's up, brother?
So I want to speak about all of your claims at once, since I think they all tie into each other.
We're talking about the economy.
You think Trump is horrible for the economy. You think Trump is doing more for the wealthy than for rich people. You think Doge was a failure. You think Trump's immigration plan is horrible.
We're talking about the...
He has a really good voice.
We can, right.
Let's make sure that we...
Let's, all right. So we can speak about the economy. But we've only been talking about the economy so far. You think that regular people care about gas prices, about grocery prices, about energy bills. I think regular people care about not being burnt alive on a subway, like Bethany McKee. I think they care about not being stabbed in the neck, like Irina Zaritsky. I think they don't want people like...
Okay, let's look up anecdotal situations of certain people that I'm going to criticize. It's either immigrants or the people on the left. And if I do the same thing for the people on the right doing some crazy shit, and then I'm like... I don't know. This is just wasting my time, bro. It's just we're not really doing much here. We recognize there's crazy people in the world. There's crazy Americans. There's crazy subset of groups that have crazy ideologies. You don't create policy from fringes and anecdotal circumstances. That's ridiculous. I always say if you start bringing up, oh, this immigrant did this, then this ICE agent did this. Get rid of ICE. This one Catholic priest did this. Get rid of Catholicism. This one Republican did this regarding he wanted to blow up different areas because he thought the election was stolen. What about that? It's just these. It's just not effective. It's just these talking points are ridiculous.
Daniel Penny to be made into political prisoners for defending innocent people from criminals who've sometimes been let out 72
January
times
6th, of course.
by Democrats. So we can talk about the economy, but don't you think that crime is far more important? And Trump is doing far better on crime than Joe Biden ever did, than any Democrat ever did?
Okay, I'm going to step in here.
Right.
Every instance of crime should be prosecuted. I believe that Democrats support that, but that's not the subject. We can have a whole long conversation about crime. What I'm here to talk about is the fact that our economy is not moving in the right direction. We see that every single day.
Why did you say that?
I say that inflation is going up, energy bills are going up left and right. It's certainly not a good thing. Look at what's happening to the farmers, for example. We now have to go pay $12 billion to effectively subsidize them because the tariffs were not good for us.
Well,
He's right.
I'm going to
Good
still
point.
go back to what I was saying.
Brother, we're
which is
talking about the economy.
We've spoken enough about the economy. We've spoken for the
we're
past
not-
45 minutes about the economy.
Well, that's the debate that we're having. You're trying to change the subject. I don't know if you're unprepared about the prompts that's in front of us, but what we're talking about
I'm
today,
unprepared about the prompts.
you
Let's
seem
talk
to
about
not
all
want
three
to
of the
talk about
prompts.
the
Let's talk
economy.
about all the prompts
You seem
together.
to not want to talk about the economy.
Why don't we speak about all the prompts
Pause.
together?
You've been voted out by the majority. Please return to your seat.
I bet you run a mean 100.
I don't. All right, so it's nice to
Faster than Trump, probably.
maybe he's a little old.
A little.
So you keep citing this figure of 2.7% inflation on the night of the election. You've also repeatedly said that inflation is up. It's actually, as of a couple of days ago, averaging at 2.7%. So you've kind of defeated yourself there.
That's not true.
That's true. That was published 2 days ago by the White House.
Core inflation in this country is about 3.1%. And besides,
Average
they've
inflation
refused,
is currently 2.7%.
And by the way, they've
December
refused to release inflation reports for a very long time. So I don't know what you're talking about with that. But
Sand fact check. People will see. But
yes, they will.
But average spending for ordinary Americans,
lost
prices
on
are
that
actually
point.
going down for staple goods. Bread down, pasta down, shrimp down. Again, statistics that came out like 2 days ago. I don't know about beef.
Beef is
Chicken's down.
beef
Eggs
is
are
at
down.
all-time
I don't know
highs.
about beef.
So what's happening across the board? That's why you got to look at things as an average. Inflation is up. Core inflation.
No, it's not.
is
It's down.
up.
It's at minimum. It's the same as it was.
It's about 3.1%.
No, that's just
And the
not true.
reality is,
3.7.
it's also, here's what's also happening in this country. When you have to go give $12 billion as farm bailouts as a result of policies that are hurting our farmers across this country, those bailouts that are being used.
To begin with, you're a Democrat. You don't not support farmer subsidies. I'd be surprised if that were the case.
Well, that's
But
not.
farmers also need subsidies because they just lost a huge amount of an illegal slave class that was making their labor extremely cheap. They need to be able to subsidize that cost to make that payment possible.
So you realize what's happening as a result of
What do
American
farmers
farm-
import?
You
They're
realize,
growing things here.
Hold on, wait a second. What's happening right now is that the inputs that are used by all of these farmers to grow their crops across this country are costing more money as a result of the tariffs that have been put in place. That does what to their production costs? It makes things go up, right?
I don't know what gets tariffs on farmers. I'm sorry.
Potash is something that was consistently tariffed.
We can probably start making that here.
I mean, we could. Well, the majority of our potash comes from places like Canada. What are you talking about?
We can start making it here.
But that's not the argument that we're having.
No, you can't just farm anything in America. There are places that have better land or better areas or more specialty for different things that they have. And also this idea that we should just farm, build everything in America, that removes us from trade negotiations and building relationships with other countries, which is something that the peace president said he wanted to be in the first place. It dawns on me on this idea that this guy just doesn't know how these things work. Not at all. We don't have unlimited land to farm every single thing we need. We need to trade with these other areas that do have these land or specialties.
Do you want manufacturing to go up by producing that?
That's not the argument that we're having. The argument
It's
is
an
that-
economic argument.
The argument is that what you guys did by putting these tariffs in place made things more expensive. And now we have to go put a Band-Aid on these things by going up and putting $12 billion worth of farm subsidies directly as a result as a bailout because of the policies that you guys enacted.
You don't oppose bailouts. I'm confused why you're bringing this up.
Because the whole reason why we're having to do an emergency farm subsidy act effectively is because of the fact that you guys artificially raised the cost of everything that farmers have to do. They're struggling right now. There are more bankruptcies.
I think they would
Wait a
need
second.
that money.
Wait a second.
anyways, because there's been a
Hold on. Wait a
huge
second.
portion of people
I
who are not showing up to work
I just want to
because
make sure that
they
you
shouldn't be
understand this point very clearly. That we had more bankruptcies in the first quarter of this year for farmers than all of last year.
The Small Business Index
And so-
actually reports that small businesses are highly optimistic right
We're
now.
talking about the amount of bankruptcies that were happening in this country as a result of the first quarter of this year. We're more than all of last year. That's a fact. If you go and you ask these farmers whether or not they would want this emergency bill, they would tell you no. They would say just release the tariffs that are destroying their businesses.
Well, farmers also want really cheap labor, and I don't because I believe in what's best for the country and not what's best for big.
This guy just refuses. He has one talking point and cannot address what is being said right here. And removing their labor also hurts the economy. So you're admitting that the economy is getting hurt from tariffs and labor loss.
Businesses and huge business farms that do that.
The unemployment rate for American citizens is going up.
Takes time. We just fired a ton of people.
So now it takes time.
It does.
So,
we're in year 1.
So the point is that the policies that you guys are pushing are not delivering the results. You guys are making things.
We're getting a lot of money from tariffs, actually.
What's your argument for that?
We're making a lot of money off of it.
What's happening to the deficit? What's happening to the deficit?
Probably going up because, again, I want ICE to have funding.
So the deficit, but the amount of funding that ICE has received as an increase is not less than the amount of tariffs that you brought in. And by the way, who pays a tariff?
Importer.
It's all of us. The importer is the one that pays, and then they pass that price on directly to the consumer.
They can, yeah.
So you're bragging. So you're bragging.
Importers buy these things.
So is the thing?
They sell it to us. I don't think things should be easy.
So is the thing in front of us, right?
So is the thing? People want to get jobs around here.
So is the question in front of us about whether or not you support American people basically paying for the largest tax increase in recent American history?
You're supporting big businesses by doing this.
What?
Tariffs hurt big businesses.
Tariffs hurt small farmers as well. That's why we had more bankruptcies for small farmers
We're getting money from tariffs, which
than everywhere else.
No, hold on. Let's be very clear. Tariffs hurt all businesses. Let's be all the way, keep it a buck. There were several businesses. There's a lot of businesses that lost their business. They're just going to use the same word again. They lost their business because of all the crazy tariffs that had happened, because they could not import the goods to their area to just use it or give it out to their customers, give it out to their consumers. Big businesses are affected 100%, but they can still afford the tariffs. And oftentimes, if they do not want to pay it, they just pass it down to the consumers. So big businesses are affected, but the ones who are affected more are the people who are buying it. But the small businesses who can't afford it can't pass it down to the consumer, so they can't even bring back product. A lot of these big businesses that are affected that you're referring to were able to buy in bulk to try to mitigate price increases. And of course, that only can last for so long because of these tariffs in the first place. So I don't know what this guy is yapping about. All businesses are being hurt from these tariffs.
Farmers through their subsidies.
Well, not if they can't afford to keep their farms, because you guys literally have a situation in place where you're increasing bankruptcies left and right.
Farms aren't closing.
This is a good
You
point.
literally had more bankruptcies in the first quarter of this year than all of last year.
Pause. We'll move on to the next debater. Thank you. Thank you.
Nice to meet you, Isaiah.
Isaiah completely filet mignon this guy.
How's it going? Good to see you.
Hey, brother.
All right, so I guess on the economy point, do you want to talk about tariffs? Or you want to talk about the One Big Beautiful Bill? Because those were kind of the two big points.
What tariffs? Whatever you want to talk about.
Sure. So I guess on tariffs, I mean, do you think that it is a good thing that other countries have tariffs on the United States and that those are allowed to go unchecked?
I think that when it comes to the American consumer, you guys raise people's prices by putting tariffs in place.
I mean, that wasn't the question I asked.
I think that's the result of the policies that you push.
Okay, so would you agree that it is a bad thing that other countries have tariffs on the United States?
It depends.
I don't think, I guess I don't think it's a good thing for our businesses that they have to be charged to export their industries to other countries. I think that it is a better thing for American business to boom if we get other countries like we've seen in the UK with EU trade agreements.
Our business are getting charged. Again, do you know how tariffs work? Exporting, you know who's paying it? The businesses in the other countries. Those are the people who are paying it. Another thing that I'll deep dive. So I'll deep dive how gas prices work. And I'll also deep dive trade negotiations and understanding why other countries have certain tariff policies. So let me write that down in my notes. I'll continue this while this happens, because I gotta break all these random narratives
being
that
negotiated out so that we can get other countries to take their tariffs off of us. And that was the original point of the tariffs.
Take their tariffs off of us?
We had a new trade agreement that had them lower their tariffs on the United States.
Did they take them off?
They lowered them.
So let me ask you a question. What would be the purpose of enacting tariffs on a country like Canada?
On Canada, well, you want to protect certain industries, and Canada also has a lot of tariffs on the United States.
And let's be very clear, Donald Trump was putting tariffs on countries that did not have tariffs on us in the first place. He was just doing universal tariffs. He wasn't even doing targeted tariffs.
And to get them to have a trade agreement with the United States on that, I don't think it's.
Didn't we have free trade?
I don't think it's. I don't think.
What was the United States Mexico Canada agreement?
Yeah, that wasn't in effect when Donald Trump took office.
Who negotiated the United States Mexico Canada agreement?
Look, I don't think it is not a good thing.
Who negotiated?
It's not a good.
Do you know what it is?
It is not.
Do you know what it is? You don't know what it is, do you?
Yes, I do.
What is it? Explain it.
Yeah, it was a trade agreement with the United States that overturned the previous NAFTA agreement.
And so, what did it do?
It established the parameters.
So who negotiated it?
It's Donald Trump.
So Donald Trump negotiated the USMCA.
Yeah, we need to
free trade agreement that was governing over the
again,
United
it wasn't
States.
free trade. We need to renegotiate these trade agreements.
What does NAFTA stand for?
North American Free Trade Agreement. That's what
So
was before Donald Trump.
Like free trade.
Yeah, again, that was before. That wasn't effective when Donald Trump.
And
took
so
over
then
in
yes,
2005.
it was. And so first of all, the USMCA was effectively the same thing as NAFTA.
No.
And so what changed?
I mean, the trade parameters changed, but like I said, I don't think it's a good thing.
Name one.
What do you mean?
What changed?
I mean, for starters, lumber, the way that we trade lumber with Canada changed.
How?
I don't know the actual intricacies of the USMCA, but what I will say is I don't think.
So this guy has a whole opinion about everything, but doesn't know the details of what is going on. And this is the same guy that did this same tactic against Adam Mockler. So he's getting exactly what was aimed at him, aimed at Adam. Adam, thank Isaiah. He just saved your bacon. He just cooked this guy with the same type of questioning. What is it? Tell me, explain it. He's doing the exact same thing. Hey, man, I'm all for that questioning. You better know the details. If you have this opinion, know the details. Know the details of what is going on. Otherwise, it makes your argument surface level. And he just made up this whole thing about, Canada. He didn't know that we had a free trade with Canada or Mexico, and he made up the idea that Canada had these. We didn't have free trade in the first place. Now, I'm not an expert in that. We'll write it down. We'll do a deep dive because I actually research stuff that I don't know about. But that's hilarious.
It's a good thing.
So we have free trade with Canada.
I don't think it's a good thing when countries.
So
like
why did you
EU
go and put tariffs on a country that we had free trade with? What gets better than free?
Well, I guess with Canada, there's also the.
I mean, I didn't know that.
There's also the added part.
Better than free, right?
There's also the added part with Canada that they were spreading propaganda into the United States, which isn't a good thing. That we have an ally spreading propaganda into the United States.
That has nothing to do with. What
Yes, it is.
I'm just asking you.
Tariffs are a.
Why did you put tariffs on a country that we had free trade with? It was free.
Buddy. Yeah, because they're pumping propaganda into the United States.
They were pumping propaganda into the United States. How?
What do you mean how?
How?
It's like during the World Series, Canada propaganda of the United States. Of course, we're going to put tariffs on them for that. We should have
showed a commercial of Ronald Reagan in his own words. So that means that
have other countries.
So wait a second. So wait a second. So wait a second.
States.
So you just made Americans pay more for everything that comes from Canada because they showed a commercial you didn't like? That sounds like being a snowflake, if you ask me.
We should be holding our allies accountable.
Why are conservatives so sensitive? This is what happens when you have conservative government. They're so sensitive. They're over here raising your prices because they had a commercial that you don't like.
Tariffs don't raise prices. There was just a study.
What?
Use Chicago that came out that tariffs actually don't raise the prices.
Why
of goods.
would you go put tariffs on a country?
Oh my God, this guy's getting destroyed by Isaiah. Isaiah, you should have had this energy this entire time. You should have. I think he started feeling, bro, I'm sick of these people. I'm done. And he started just letting loose. He should have had this energy the entire time, bro.
Trade with.
I think that we have a strategic advantage of having our lumber industry here in the United States. I don't want to be reliant upon Canada for lumber.
To go and achieve that aim.
Yeah, it makes it more expensive for imports to come to the United States so that businesses can relocate back to America.
So now if your disagreement was tariffs on lumber, your answer now is for tariffs on everything.
Again, yeah, you want to establish leverage for future trade agreements. That's how trade agreements work. That's how negotiations work.
And the leverage is to go and charge for something you are getting largely for free.
Again, because you want to have a strategic advantage of making it in the United States, obviously.
Free, and you've heard American businesses that does stuff with Canada as a result of that. The amount of trade that we've had for American companies that do business with Canada has decreased as a result of these policies. And now what's also happening is that Canada is now going all around the world to go look for other partners. It's why, for example, they're meeting with India, why they're meeting with the European Union. And when they go find these new partners, they're not going to want to go buy as much from the United States. So you know what these policies did because you guys were offended about a commercial? You sent our trade partners all the way around the world. You raised our prices as a result, and you screwed over American businesses. And that's not something that's good for the American people.
You want to talk about Canada? We don't.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Hey, if you give it applause for Isaiah Martin, he completely destroyed. He's like, oh yeah, I went crazy. I wasn't feeling him for the entire video. I was like, bro, you're going too soft. And then he was like, you know what? Let's go Super Saiyan 2 and went crazy on this boy. He fucking flaming yawned him. And everything he was saying was not narratives. It was facts. It was facts. As he said, Donald Trump was apparently the person who did this free trade agreement with Canada. Then he started tariffing Canada. And now what happened? Now Canada wants to work with India and wants to work with China. Well, we're losing our leverage all across the world. Thank you, Donald Trump, right, MAGA? Thank you, you snowflakes. You cooked, Isaiah. Shout out.
Hello.
Oh,
Hold on. Thank you. This is Donald Trump on it.
I didn't see that part.
Okay.
I didn't see that part.
Okay. You know a tariff is a tax, right? And Democrats love to tax people. So all of a sudden, the Democrat in the room doesn't want to tax anybody.
Well,
Donald Trump.
I just want to make sure I correct this. A corporate tax is a tax on profits. A tariff is a tax on raw goods. It's why, for example, your tariffs are making things more expensive.
Okay, when you bought
didn't know how that works.
Okay, you bought that watch.
Rolex? Is this a Rolex?
Whatever it is, the watch that you bought, there was a tax on that. It wasn't a corporate tax.
And Rolex,
This is tax.
And by the way, it's an Apple Watch, but Apple had to pay a corporate tax. Which, by the way, I want to raise that. By the way, for Apple, if you didn't know.
So you want to raise corporate taxes, yeah, but you don't want to raise tariffs. You don't want to talk about tariffs. But most of the tariffs, by the way, most of the tariffs are comparable tariffs. So whatever country is charging us,
we have free.
She has no idea what the fuck she's talking about. Let's move on. She is yapping. Crazy woman. Go back in the kitchen. All right. Go back in the kitchen.
Pause. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, Isaiah, make up for it. Let's run it back. Run it back, Isaiah. Don't be nice to this motherfucker, lying MFer. I'm not. This video was probably one of my worst commentary. I'm just not in it right now. But Isaiah, you're cooking. Come on, keep doing it.
All right.
I chose Dennis for the final debate because he's running for the United States Congress. So let's see if he's prepared.
All right.
My surrounding claim is that Democrats hate America. Prove me wrong.
Prove you wrong?
Yeah.
That's a very subjective opinion.
No, it's very objective.
What is the point that you're trying to make?
It's unbelievably. I mean, we're in
hate
California right now. We're in Los Angeles. It's a state that's been run for over 60 years by a Democrat supermajority. We've had Democrat governors for a plurality of almost 60 years as well. The last 12, it was Jerry Brown Jr., and now we have Gavin Newsom for 2 terms. And the state, not only are we running a historic deficit, but we just spent, as somebody mentioned here earlier, $25 billion in 5 years to solve the homelessness crisis. And that money just evaporated. It went all to NGOs, Gavin Newsom's cronies. And
this is probably going to be tough on Isaiah. It would be even tough on me, to be fair, because I'm not an expert in California politics. I had a conservative on, and I was able to challenge him, but there's fact patterns that I have not researched because I don't live in California, and I'm not looking up California politics. That's just not the thing I'm doing. So I don't know how Isaiah is going to handle this conversation.
There's no accountability. There's no interest in there being any sort of accountability. So much so that LA County itself has spent over $1 billion to fix homelessness.
Dialogue.
Our current comptroller, Kevin Mejia, tried to do an audit, and the mayor, Karen Bass, communist, Karen Bass says she's a communist, look it up, trained by Fidel Castro.
What is this whole...
The fix being any sort of accountability. So much so that LA County itself has spent over $1 billion to fix homelessness. Our current comptroller, Kevin Mejia, tried to do an audit, and the mayor, Karen Bass, communist, Karen Bass says she's a communist, look it up, trained by Fidel Castro.
What is this whole argument about Democrats?
The whole thing is that it's about centralized power. They're all communists, they're all Marxists. You're part of this. You're part of this infrastructure. Let me finish my point. Yes, that's exactly what I just stated.
So Joe Manchin is a communist?
Let me just finish my point.
John Fetterman is a Marxist?
Let me finish my point. Well, he's associating himself with that. Yes, your party's being eaten from within by the Democrat Socialists of America. That's how you get Zoran Mamdani out of New York. That's part of their goal. They're saying it literally.
You just described a party that has diversity of thought. That's kind of how.
That's not diversity of thought. Absolutely not.
That's what happens when you're not. That's what happens when you're not in a brainless cult like MAGA, right?
I'm just going to tell you this.
So you've got for example, a party in the Democratic Party is one that has folks like Joe Manchin and Zoran Mamdani. It's people with a wide array of a political spectrum.
You're being extremely disingenuous right now.
I just want to know from you, what is it that you're trying to say about Democrats that hate America? You're saying that half of America hates this country.
Let me finish. Let me do my point. Okay, you brought up Joe Manchin and you brought up John Fetterman. 2 people that every time, John Fetterman specifically, he actually is a middle of the road guy. Let me finish my point. Okay, every time he sides with common sense policy that is coming from let me finish my point, dude. Every time he sides with common sense policy. Let me finish my point, bro. You're gonna let me. You're gonna just keep. I'm not flustered.
I can see it over your eyes.
I'm not. Oh, now he's trying to play back what I did a minute ago.
Remember that one?
Yes, I do remember that one.
Look how the tables have turned.
Oh my God, dude, you're being so petty. Just let me finish my point, okay?
Okay.
You brought up Joe Manchin and John Fetterman, okay? Every time they side with common sense policy from Republicans, what happens? They get eaten alive by their own side. You watch Hassan Piker, you watch anybody on the left, they will eat them alive.
Yes, come up with your opinion by watching Hassan Piker. I'm not surprised. All of MAGA's opinions are from people on the internet instead of the actual politicians. That's why the only one that they can refer to is Zoran Mamdani. I don't know anything about the communist that he was referring to in terms of the mayor of California. I have no idea. But
for siding with common sense, things that people in Pennsylvania and their states want, not the Democrat orthodoxy. Okay, your party hates America. You look at Ilhan Omar. She got
I just
want to
make sure
Ilhan Omar got into Congress. Look this up, folks, with a negative net worth of $45,000. She's worth over $60 million. Explain that to me right now.
The fact that there are people with a wide array of, and by the way, I just want to make sure
it is not.
I am not in the Joe
gaslighting. You're gaslighting.
John Fetterman era.
You're gaslighting.
That's not where I stand personally. I am a Barack Obama style Democrat. But ultimately, of course, right? I think he was a really good president. But at the
so you support the one president. Wait, no. I want to take that back. No, hold on one second.
Who killed the U.S. citizens?
So you think Barack Obama was the greatest president when he unilaterally called the most amount of drone strikes abroad and killed the most innocent civilians in the history of the United States presidency?
I don't agree with that.
You don't agree with that?
I don't agree with that, and that's exactly what I just said. Is that people?
But you just said he was the greatest president.
Excuse me.
No, diversity of thought is killing innocent civilians.
I hate to.
MAGA does not give two shit about innocent civilians. They do not give a fuck. Let's be very clear. Regardless of what you feel about Obama and his strikes and what's going on there, I'm hard pressed to think that they give a fuck, considering how they treated innocent civilians, i.e. immigrants, and they sent them to fucking Alligator Alcatraz, and they sent them over to some crazy prisons in El Salvador. And then, of course, their whole operation where they were just killing people to get Maduro in Venezuela, I guess, whatever. Venezuelan bodies, who gives a fuck about those? And then so many people were in favor of the Israel stuff that was happening there. And a lot of people called the Palestinians, a good number of them, innocent civilians. So I'm not buying this innocent civilian stuff. I don't think they give a fuck. They just use this talking point. Does that make what Barack Obama okay? I don't know, because I haven't looked into it. It's just not something that I was old enough to really pay attention to. I guess I could look into it now, but I just don't see the merit of looking into it now. He's not president, and there's like more important things to focus on at the moment. But Isaiah,
I hate to break it.
How is that diversity of thought?
I hate to break it to you, but Donald Trump also had an increase of drone strikes more than what was happening under Barack Obama. So you might want to go.
Oh, okay. According to Rutgers study, Obama authorized more than 500 drone operations over his two. Oh, yeah, especially in his first term. Donald Trump had a lot of drone strikes. In terms of increase, this was multiple times higher than under the Bush administration, since the technology wasn't prevalent during his term.
Check your numbers, because if that's the mark.
He didn't say Bush. He said Obama. Fact check.
Whether or not someone is a good president, your guy literally went and had more drone strikes.
Guess what?
I bet you're still going to.
The Bureau of Investigative Journalism lists 2,243 drone strikes in Trump's first 2 years. See, that's what I was thinking. In his second term, obviously, he hasn't been doing drone strikes, but in his first term, he did do drone strikes. I just forgot about that until he brought it up. So more drone strikes from Trump compared to
Obama. To Mar-a-Lago and beg for his support, aren't you?
I didn't just sit here and say that Barack Obama is the greatest president in history.
But Donald Trump
knowing that he killed more civilians.
But Donald Trump had more drone strikes. But you still think he's a good president, right?
I didn't say that I approve of drone strikes. I'm calling.
So it's almost like if you disagree with something, you can still support the politician overall. That's kind of how that works.
I'm literally calling out drone strikes. Do you understand how your cognitive dissonance is working?
You're trying to say that because I support Barack Obama and I disagree with drone strikes, that all of a sudden that's some type of failure in my reasoning, while you literally support Donald Trump, who had more drone strikes, and you still support him. You literally came dressed like him today. You're wearing the pin, you're wearing the tie, you're wearing everything. You came just like him.
Hold on 1 second. Wait. I just want to make a point here. He has a problem with somebody.
I'm be honest. He completely cooked you, and that's why you're gonna try to make it seem, he has a problem without a dress. That's not the point. He completely cooked you with your rationale.
The American flag, pure Democrat. You hate America.
Right. That is not what he said. He's such a dumbass. I hate these people so much. I hate their guts. And I can't believe this motherfucker is running for Congress. Oh, my goodness.
You just made my point for me. Thank you so much.
And I said that you're dressed like Donald Trump.
Can you really shake my hand? Can you really shake my hand?
That I said that you're dressed like Donald Trump.
Oh, my God. Civility is done.
You came dressed like another. What are you talking about?
You have a problem with me, with the way I'm dressed. I'm wearing the American flag. I'm wearing American colors.
All he said is you dress like Donald Trump. Stop being a snowflake. Stop bitching. Unless you're saying Donald Trump dresses like shit, then that's your conclusion.
Because
you just said you have a problem. You made my point for me, bro.
I said that?
Yeah, you did.
What I said was that you're trying to say that because of I support Barack Obama, that has to mean that I support everything that he did. You support
You're
Donald
splitting
Trump.
hairs, bro.
You literally, this is your argument.
You're Look,
you literally support a man that had more drone strikes.
I specifically called out drone strikes. You think that means that I support any president doing it?
Donald Trump, and you literally.
You think you're literally having to put words into my mouth so you can exonerate?
Because you did that to him, you dumbass. This guy's inhuman. He's actually a fucking stupid. He's so dumb. He's the worst person here. Everybody else were pissing me off. He's just a dumbass. The fact that people like this are running for positions of power in MAGA shows you something. He's fucking stupid.
Yourself of a point that I made because you can't respond to it.
No,
you called Barack Obama the greatest president that ever was, and I said,
I say that?
do you endorse
I said
his
that he
drone
was a great
strikes?
president.
Yes, you did.
I said he was a great president.
So you think killing civilians makes somebody a great president?
So do you think Donald Trump was a great president?
I think he's doing a pretty good job compared to.
So you think a pretty good president is someone who had more drone strikes than Barack Obama?
I don't endorse drone strikes. No, I don't.
So it's almost like that's a wash then.
We're stuck in the same point. We're going around. I feel like we're going around in circles. Let's just take it back for a second.
You're a dumbass.
That's kind of how that went.
Yeah, you can frame it however you want, but that's not actually what
I don't think libs of
I think the people
like this one.
I think the people at home can see a lot better that you hate America and that you really proved my point for me. You literally said that you have a problem with me wearing this suit where I have Trump. Yeah, exactly. Anyway, we're going back in circles. I'm trying to move the conversation forward. It's got nothing to do. I could argue about this for my whole life, but I think the good people at home would rather see something different.
No, you can't.
Yeah, I pivot to it for you. It's not working out well for you.
You can say whatever you want to save your ego. Here's the thing, okay? Prove to me that you don't hate America. I gave you a bunch of data. Show one piece of policy from Democrats that's been good for the working class.
You asked me to prove whether or not I love America. I love America.
No. That's not what I asked you. That is not what I asked you.
Wanted me to prove
I asked for one piece of policy.
My grandparents worked their entire lives.
Look, the Democrat Party.
I love
the Democrat Party. The Democrat Party is one of the most dishonest, self-serving parties in the history of this country. Well, it's been like this forever. Okay, Ilhan Omar got into office. Okay, so defend Ilhan Omar. She got into office with negative net worth of $45,000. She's worth $60 million now.
I'm not here to talk about
AOC. Just
that's because she got a rich husband. That's why her net worth increased. But I bet they don't give a fuck that Donald Trump's net worth increased because of all the bullshit he's been doing ever since he got in power. Nope, mum's the word. They don't give a fuck. So let's not stop pretending. More narratives, more talking points. These people, this guy is a piece of shit.
Stop the oligarchy tour. Spent $50,000 on luxury hotels and Bad Bunny.
Come from her husband, Tim Minett.
Concerts. How is that loving America?
Wait a second. I just want to make sure that something's clear.
No, just explain that to me. No, now you're trying to pivot. You're trying to pivot.
I just want to make sure this is right. You're trying to say that someone increasing their net worth in government per se is indicative of someone who doesn't care about America, right?
I think enriching yourself on the backs of Americans when you're there to serve is inherently dishonest, corrupt, and it is anti.
Please bring up the meme coin, the jet, the Bibles, the what else can we bring up for Donald Trump's corruption? Melania's coin. Donald Trump telling his people to watch Melania's movie. Please, Isaiah, please, come on. Ether this bitch ass motherfucker right now. Ether him, Isaiah.
American.
You think so?
Yeah.
How much has Donald Trump's net worth increased since he's been the president?
I know that he spent for a fact over $600 million in wrongful lawsuits that were brought by Letitia James and all of these crazy Democrats in the judicial.
How much?
How much what?
How much has his net worth increased since he's been president in 2025?
Well, you tell me.
$3.3 billion.
He also had to spend. He also had to spend $600 million. He also had to spend $600.
Oh, he just had to spend $600 million. What's a bigger number? 3 billion or 600 million? Isaiah, keep on ethering his bitch ass, please. This feels so good right now.
On these lawsuits that you guys, these frivolous lawsuits you guys are bringing up.
Has made more money off the
He's been an independent businessman his entire life. He still owns golf courses. His son Eric made more than his son Eric still runs the golf courses.
So if your own logic is that making money in public office is indicative of someone who hates America, I would say the guy who's made more than anybody else in the history of America probably hates America,
this is
right?
An absolutely false equivalence.
That's not how that works, did it?
This is an absolutely false equivalence.
That didn't work out well for you.
This is a false equivalence.
Your campaign is going to be struggling after
yeah, I'm sure I'm going to be fine, okay? Do you have a problem with Congress people enriching themselves off of insider trading?
I believe that we should ban insider trading 100%. And I support John Ossoff.
So are you going to call out? But by the way, are you going to call out the people in your party?
Here's the situation. You just made an argument that making money in public office is something that is inherently indicative of someone who hates America. You're literally cheerleading and dressing like the man who's made more money off the presidency than anybody else in history. And you don't want to call that out. Partially because he went and created a crypto coin. Partially because he created a crypto coin that he literally used taxpayer dollars to go meet with people as a result of those things, the crypto coin that he created.
What you're saying.
You don't want to talk about that, do you?
To begin with.
The crypto coin?
These are all, bro.
Do we know
he was a
business crypto coin?
He was a businessman to begin with.
Let me ask you this. Do we know who's investing in Trump's crypto coin?
Lay it on me.
Do we know?
Well, lay it on me.
Do we know for sure?
Why are you bringing this up if you don't know?
Because the point is that he is literally making money, billions of dollars, off of a crypto coin that he literally is pushing, that we have no transparency on whatsoever. If that's not shady, I don't know what is. You have him literally spending our taxpayer dollars to go meet with his crypto donors.
Okay. Belt the fucking ass. Isaiah's belting this motherfucker. He's beating the if I had a belt, fucking putting him down. Putting him down, Isaiah. Go fucking crazy. See, you're running for Congress. I might run for Congress one of these days, but all this is gonna come up and I'm going, yup, I have a potty mouth when I get energetic. I'm sorry. Not sorry. We need to put belt to ass to bitch ass motherfuckers like him. We just do. But everybody else who is not a bitch ass motherfucker like him, let's create a better country. Isaiah, keep doing what you're doing, man.
And that doesn't sound like something that's inherently corrupt to you.
Who are the investors? What's the
and literally
give
one
me all
of
the
the
information
people,
around
and
it.
Here's what's funny about this. Literally one of the people that he's literally went and has done favors for in office are investors to his meme coin. It's so laughable to me that you guys can't even say. How about
why don't you name them specifically?
How about
name
this?
one person?
How about I don't know his name directly.
Exactly. Boom.
I don't know.
Thank you. You don't know what the hell you're talking about, dude. You're just making shit up.
Because I can't give you the name.
Oh, this guy's so stupid. He thinks he's making it up. He thinks the meme coin is made up. Oh, this is so funny. I can name you one. What about the guy who got pardoned by Donald Trump, who is the CEO of Binance, who the Trump administration have been working to ensure that their investments go through Binance? You know why that guy was pardoned, or why that guy was in trouble from Binance? Is because there's a lot of evidence that they were not doing enough regulations on Binance to ensure that criminal activity, like terrorist organizations, were not funneling money through that exchange. So that's just a name for you. I'm sure you don't know anything about that because you're a piece of shit. Not you, Isaiah. My boy. Not you. The piece of shit you're talking to. It looks like a bootleg Donald Trump Jr.
You didn't even know.
Yeah,
you didn't even know that Trump increased drone strikes. What are you talking about?
You
literally have done this entire time.
I'm not sitting here and talking.
He's a dumbass. We did on that. Shout out Isaiah. He did the Lord's work. Okay. Let's go live on YouTube and react to Flagrant.